I don't know, for anybody who saw my set last night, I play a lot of different stuff. Part of it is part of it is my anthropology degree. I just am curious about other people and usually about their food and then their music secondarily. So I play a lot of different stuff, but also just in Los Angeles, I don't know, you can really get by on just playing one style of music. So I've been playing Irish for 40 some odd years. My family on both sides are, I'm third generation, so they fled the north of Ireland, and I have one grandmother who fled Belgium, so that's me. We did the whole Ancestry.com thing, and I've been telling my mom for years we tan awfully easy for Irish, and of course we got the DNA results back, and we're Irish and Belgian. So I was hoping for West African or Central Asian or Macedonian or something fun, but yeah, that's what you get what you get. But during the pandemic, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of Native American fiddle music. And I'd always kind of dismissed like Appalachian and old time music, kind of pre-bluegrass American traditional music as derivative European music. But the fiddle, the violin, was just a popular portable instrument in the 1700s into the 1800s. And everybody was evolving this. Everybody was evolving this sort of dance music independently all over the planet, really. And Native Americans were no exception. So there's a Cherokee war chief who fought alongside Andrew Jackson, Junalasku, and there's a popular Appalachian fiddle tune called Georgia Horseshoe that is attributed to Junalasku, a Cherokee fiddle player and chief. When I first looked him up, the Wikipedia thing was like, saved Andrew Jackson's life at the Battle of Big Horseshoe and later regretted it. And that was like the whole entry on him. There's more now. But the cool part about Wikipedia is people keep adding. But there's a really rich Cherokee tradition, and the Cherokee stuff sounds very Appalachian, but it's got a Native American flavor to it. There's some great Micmac. There's some stuff from the northeastern Canada. The Inuit from basically from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific have got a rich fiddle tradition. It sounds very Scottish, Quebecois to me. It's got that kind of flavor of what you think of with Canadian fiddle music. The Tohono O'odham and the Yaqui in the Southwest have got a rich fiddle tradition, and again, it sounds. It's got its own thing that's very It's crooked. There's a lot of just extra beats and things, but it sounds very Tex-Mex, Norteño, Conjunto. It's got that kind of flavor. There's some great Choctaw stuff from Oklahoma. There's just a lot of this stuff, and it's not derivative of Irish music or French music or American music. It's its own thing, and it evolved side by side. There was obviously always more Irish and French and German influence in the New World than there was Native American or American influence in places like Ireland, because people came here because there was more opportunity, typically, so it's not European derivative music. It's its own thing. So old time music, whether it's black or white or Native American, Appalachian music or music from the Ozarks or whatever, it's its own thing, which I respect. For years, I sort of dismissed old time and that whole American tradition as derivative, and it's like it is a little bit, but it's everybody was kind of picking it up at the same time. So right before the pandemic, I was about to go on tour with the band Sausage Grinder in Los Angeles, which is a band I totally talked my way into and have no business playing with musicians of this caliber. But we were about to go to England, and Jamie Foxx, a fiddle player from the Fort Belknap Reservation, was over, and it was just three of us in the band and Jamie, and we just played her repertoire all night long, and it was just wonderful. I see her at festivals every so often. I'm honored and flattered that she even remembers who the heck I am. So we're going to do a White Buffalo from her, and then I think we'll start with an easier tune. Sorry. Reflip the page. I think we're going to start with a slightly easier tune, and it's from the town of Inuvik in the Pacific Northwest Territories of Canada. I had to look it up. I thought that has to be like glacier locked, but there actually is apparently a port that people can get in and out of. And it's a pretty easy tune, I hope. So, but let's start that. And I'm gonna. Yeah, this is good. Just to make sure it works for both tunings. So whether you're in GDAE or whether you're in CGDA, thank you, thanks. This will fit. So we're not using the E string, we're not using an E string, and we're not using a C string. So it all kind of fits there. If you're watching my fingers, you might have to adjust if you're in CGDA tuning, but we'll go from there. So let me play it once so you can hear it, and then we'll break it down into its components. So. So that's the tune, and it's just this delightful Christmas reel from the Inuit in the Pacific Northwest Territories. So starting on the 4th fret of your D string, there's a little walk up to the A string. So. So we'll do this. So there's the A is the downbeat. So it's the pickup is. So far, so good, mostly? Mostly? Yeah? Questions? Anybody lost on which? Okay. So, so the opening phrase there is just 1, 2. So we're only on the D and the A string, so. And your pick direction, people often ask, I don't know that it's that important on this, but whatever you're feeling is probably fine. I do a lot of down, up, but whatever you're used to is fine. So let's take it from that phrase and we'll go into the next phrase. So it's 1, 2. We're on the G string. Question? No? So let's try that in its entirety. So. aside from that walk up, we're literally only using open second and fourth. So let's roll that, and then we'll get into the slightly trickier part. But 3 and 4. Well, okay. 1, 2. Here. I know it's weird, and the cool part is there's a White Mountain Apache waltz called the Escondida waltz that does that same phrase, and I don't think it's especially, you know, Native American. It's just a coincidence to me. It's a weird phrase that shows up in 2 places. I don't know that shows up anywhere else in my repertoire. So yeah, where are we here? So from the top, so 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's just try that. So second fret of your D string, and then you jump to the G string, and it just a descending line. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so let's go from the top. There's a lot of repetition in both of the tunes we'll learn today, so hopefully as you get a little frustrated, but then like as you latch onto something, you can probably use it elsewhere. So in the tune, so 3, 1, 2. Like you can do fills, but that's the core melody. So why don't we just try running it? It's all of 16 bars, and there's a lot of repeat stuff in there. So why don't we just try it top to bottom, and we'll roll it a couple of times, and then if there's questions after that, we'll stop and break it down. So I always want to count 3 and 4, but it starts on a pickup. So 1, 2. there? Yeah, mostly.
Yep. I've never played an Irish song, so I'm still trying to just get.
Yeah. Reels and stuff.
If it's a pickup notes,
I just have to listen to more of it.
No, they're not. Yeah. It's a. They are at the end of end of the fourth bar. Yeah, if it's any consolation, I've been going to Balkan camp for years, and the teachers will like. And you're trying to follow like the minute flicks of a finger, and I'm like, this is what I choose to do on my vacation. Am I insane? So,
snake was going to start rising.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no cobras in Macedonia or Albania. Yeah. But all I'm going to say there is like. I never walk away with anything fully formed, but if you walk away with the melody, great. If you walk away with a recording and sheet music and you just work at it, that's typically where I land at music festivals. So if you're not getting it, I'm rooting for you.
After seven classes, my sponge is
your brain is your brain has had it. Yeah,
I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, I think there's 138 breweries in this town, so you can debrief after this. So.
Do you mind being recorded?
Yeah, no, I do not mind being recorded at all. In fact, apparently we're being recorded.
Right, we are being recorded.
So
I always ask permission.
No, you're fine. If anybody wants to record this, I'll play it through a couple of times, just slow and clean, and then I'll play it as though I were playing it, in performance or for a dance or whatever. So if you wanna, whatever your iPhone or whatever you're using, so. Anybody
Later
doing it? Ready?
now?
What's that?
Later or now?
I was going to do it now, yeah.
So the name again?
It's the Inuvik, which is the name of the town. It's the Inuvik Christmas Reel. And it's a reel they dance at Christmas, if you're an Inuit in the Pacific Northwest Territories, apparently. Cool. Everybody good? All right. So, Inuvik Christmas Reel. That's the whole piece, and then if you were playing this, for a dance, it would probably be more like. Essentially the whole tune, and that's a pretty solid rhythm, I think, if you were playing that for real. So why don't we, time wise, we got a little late start from the last workshop, but why don't we try White Buffalo, which again it works in both tunings. It only uses the G, D, and A strings, so whichever instrument you're playing, you should be fine. And I played this one. I played this one last night, but it's. So that's White Buffalo. That comes from Jamie Foxx, not with two X's, and she's a younger fiddle player from the Fort Belknap Reservation. She explained this that her grandparents' generation danced to fiddle music in full Sioux regalia.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I would like to see.
yeah,
That's
me too.
awesome.
Me too. And then she said her father's generation was sort of like the '60s, '70s hippie generation, and they adopted the powwow, which was across all Native American communities. But she said it, at least in Fort Belknap, with her mixed Algonquin and Sioux reservation, the powwow really wasn't a thing until the '60s and '70s. So the hippie generation all danced the powwow, but that's new for a lot of Native Americans. And then, so she said, growing up, they were learning from, she and her brother were learning, fiddle tunes from, fiddle players on the reservation. This is one of those tunes. And she said at dances, there was a two-story thing, and she said upstairs would be the fiddle players, and people would come and go, but full feathers and the whole bit, dancing upstairs, and then downstairs would be the the drums and the stuff. But they do a type of step dancing basically, and anyway, she's ridiculously cool. I'm a big fan. The leader of the band I'm in Northridge has a record label, Old Time Tiki Parlor, but he actually recorded for her because she got tired of explaining what she was doing. And he's like, "Look, you're coming to visit, let me do a video." But she plays this tune. She plays another tune, Empty Canoe, which is the hardest fiddle tune I've ever learned, and I've learned it, but begrudgingly. And then I think she does another one. But she talks about the tradition, and then does that. But if you look up, you can write it out later. But if you look up Métis Fiddle, or if you look up Old Time Tiki Parlor, you'll find this really great sort of 12-minute video explaining. Jamie just got tired of explaining that nobody understood what she was doing, and it's like, well, just a fiddle player from Montana.
Were they using traditional European fiddles, or
Yeah, no, like
did they create their own?
Yeah, no, like I know the Apache have like that kind of gourd calabash thing,
yeah.
but no, they're just playing flat out fiddles.
Fine.
Yeah, so the Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Inuit, the Sioux, the Tohono O'odham, and the Yaqui in the Southwest, they're all playing fiddle. But I know there is a Apache fiddle made out of a gourd of some sort. Yeah, I've seen them and I've heard them, and I think like a lot of really rustic folk instruments, there's a reason. Like they're like, I want a good fiddle.
Where did they pick up the fiddles? Where did they pick up fiddles?
Jamie talks about and she identifies as Métis, which is mixed. So she's aware that she has some Irish and French and Scottish blood, and she's got some Sioux and Algonquin blood. But the fur trappers brought them in. Westward expansion. Fiddles were just around. They were constantly. It was. I think of guitar became a trend and popular. Nobody really played guitar 100 years ago.
They were too big to pack west.
There were two guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fiddle. The European violin just sort of took off. So you find it across all of North America in rural Appalachia, rural Ozarks, rural Texas, and you also find it
Mexico.
in Mexico. Sure, yeah, son jarocho music and
Introduced by the Spanish to the French,
fiddle.
I think.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
French or Spanish, both.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm a mandolin player, and I'm like, it's Italian, but I mean it's spread everywhere, So yeah. Anyway,
Musicians don't tend to care about borders.
what's that?
Musicians
Yeah.
don't tend to care
No,
about
no, not really. No, yeah. So let's break this down. There's the A part is in E minor. There's a lot of repetition. The B part's in G major, relative, and that also has, I think, a fair amount of repetition. But we're going to start on the second fret of the D string, so on the E note. And it's so you're toggling between the D and the G string. yeah.
You're in C too?
Wait, what's that?
You're in C or G?
He's in G.
I'm in octave. Yeah, I'm in GDAE.
Oh, no wonder, because that's why I was copying you last time. And it didn't
Oh,
sound-
sorry. Yeah, yeah. No.
There we go.
String over and over.
Yeah.
Play it on.
Yeah, just don't play the C string at all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, right there.
just
There you
go
go.
up one string.
That's it. And now
Completely fair
look
question.
I was
Yeah.
playing, I was like, okay, well, I'm not getting this tune. It doesn't sound right. I'm copying what he's doing. But it
Yeah,
still doesn't sound
yeah.
right. So I just gave up on that one.
No, I'm so sorry.
over one string, it can still come.
Yep,
And
yep.
also, I don't really change on the open string, so it's new to me too.
Yeah. So, okay, let's 3 and 4 and. So it goes. So then it does that phrase twice. And then it goes to an open D. So let's loop that. One more time. So let's put those two together, and that's half the A part, or most of the A part, to be honest. So 3 and 4 and. Again. One more time. And from there, so it repeats that in the second half of the A part. So it's. And then repeat. And then it goes up. This is all on your D and your A strings.
I feel, are we dropping a beat there?
No, it's straight. There's a lot of
Okay.
there's a lot of
It was me.
no there's a lot of crooked Native American and old time fiddle tunes.
Can you play it just slightly slower?
Absolutely, yeah. 3 and 4 and. slowly
Yes.
loop that?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, so there's no pickup on this one. So 3 and 4 and... And then up. One more time. Slower. Maybe one more time. Kinda, sorta. We're getting there.
Kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I empathy, sympathy. I always get empathy. I think is. But yeah, these types of festivals, I walk away going, did I get that at all? Maybe. We'll see when I get home. So, recording is good. We'll.
Would you record?
Yeah. Before we end, I'll give you a slow version, and then I'll give it at tempo, so you can kind of get it in your head. There's a bunch. I think there's a bunch of YouTube recordings of Jamie playing this tune. It's like a White Buffalo. I'm like, it's just like, well, you have to learn it just for the title, if no other reason. And then it's a really great tune. So,
What are the notes that characterize it as a Native American song?
Yeah.
Is it E minor?
No. Yeah. Not really. No. The way Jamie explains it, she goes, it's obviously it's an Irish reel, right? Or it's essentially got that structure. Yeah, but it's just the flavor of that particular Native American group. If you go to the Southwest or you go to Appalachia, the music sounds Appalachian, but has its own sort of twist. So she just describes it. It's sort of French, Irish, Scottish, with a heavy Native American influence. So
it fuses almost traditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know the Quebecois fiddle tradition. They dance in place, and they attribute that to the Iroquois lodge singing. And I don't know if that's true or not. In Massif Central in central France, the fiddle players and the bagpipe players actually also stomp their feet in place, but the Quebecois fiddle players attribute it to the Iroquois. So I don't know. I wasn't around then, at least not in this lifetime, so I can't vouch for that.
Travel back.
I have not heard any of the Northwest Indians, Shoshone,
Yeah.
Mandan, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any similars? Because sometimes it didn't go.
Yeah. No. I mean, not everybody picked.
Anything transferred.
Yeah, not everybody picked it up. And I think there's pockets of Ireland where there's no music tradition, no fiddle tradition either. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't either.
Some flute, but not.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't play the flute either.
No, what's funny? The Native American flutes that you see all have the fipple on the end, but all the museum pieces are just open tubes like this, where You just have to, you know, you literally. So I
embouchure across it.
yeah. So
Across the end.
I call not fraud, but like a lot of the Native American flutes are very modern, and you could with a piece of PVC. I've replicated a Mojave flute, and it's not a scale, you know, it's not a scale that any of these Native American flute players want to acknowledge. So it's interesting. There's you know, everything you know, everything comes and goes. But yeah, no, not every you know, not every English speaking community in North America had a fiddle tradition, and not every Native American you know, nation or tribe had a fiddle tradition. But the ones that do are just, you know, I keep finding more and more. You know, I think the Tohono O'odham are really famous. The Guachi fiddle CD is just, you know, beautiful. And then there's a lot of just, you know, Choctaw, Inuit, and you know, and honestly, I don't know that I knew about, you know, the Sioux tradition until, you know, 5-6 years ago. So, and I don't think most people do, which is why my friend David did a video for Jamie, so she had to stop explaining herself, just watch the YouTube video, stop bothering me. So yeah, let's work on the B part, and then we'll put it all together. How are we doing on time? Not so good. Okay. A lot of quarter notes in the B part, so hopefully that's good. So it's. So that's all on the A string. To the A note on the same string. If you're playing in CGD8, you're gonna have to go up to the 7th fret. You can cheat if you're in my tuning, but. So let's put that together. So the beat. Let me just play it so you can hear it in its entirety, and then we'll piece it together. But the B part is. A repeat from the. One more time. So let's try the whole thing. All those lovely G quarter, you know, quarter notes in the key of G, and then the end that brings us back to E minor, which then puts us back into the A part, which is in E minor. So 3 and 4 and. let's try running it a couple of times, start to finish, and then I'll send you away. Anybody who wants to record it, I'll send you away with a recording of it slow, and then I'll play it up to tempo just so you can kind of get it in your head. And again, YouTube this one. It's just such a beautiful tune. If you've got no other reel in your repertoire in any genre, this is a good one. So, we're gonna start back in E minor. So that phrase. So 3 and 4 and. Skeleton. That's kind of all you got. You gotta go home and flesh it out. But
Okay.
if anybody wants a quick recording of
I
this,
would love that.
I'll play it through slow once, just so you kind of have what we just did, and then I'll play it up to tempo once.
White Buffalo.
Okay, yeah, White Buffalo from Jamie Foxx from the Fort Belknap Reservation in Montana. 3 and 4 and. thank you, class.
That
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully that sticks. Yeah, as a student at music festivals, I always walk away going, did I learn anything or not? And usually I did, whether I acknowledge it or not at
It's in
first. It's in there.
To get it back out.
Thank you.
Would it be appropriate to bring something like this into a session?
Like an Irish session?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm looking from, I don't want to steal from other people's tradition without permission.
Yeah, I think it's completely appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, acknowledge it's like, and then they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I don't know that one." You're like, "Yeah, it's a Métis
Right.
Sioux Algonquin fiddle tune from Montana."
Okay.
But I occasionally play with Eric Thompson, who was in Joe Cooley's band. Joe Cooley,
Okay.
I played this for Eric, and it's like. So yeah, I mean, it melodies really well with Joe Cooley's reel.
Right.
So yes, I've done it, and I guarantee Jamie would be flattered.